Good afternoon, all virtual audience. I hope all are safe and wishing you all good health in this COVID days. Thank you, ET Auto, for inviting us to be part of this talk. Topic we will be discussing today is virtual drive test for present and future of mobility. This topic has gained considerable attention in recent times, specifically on autonomous vehicle and EVs, but it also touches ICs. I'm going to share trends, what we see global automotive companies adopting virtualization in verification validation practices. My name is Shital Kumar Joshi. I head electrical and electronics at ANSYS India ASEAN. I'm joined by my colleague Tushar Sambaram, who is principal engineer focusing on architecting electrification solutions. Here are the topics that we'll be covering in next 15 minutes. I'll be doing introducing the virtualization in validation in first section. Then we'll be talking about three specific case studies and topics or trends, what we see in the industry. This slide shows talks about a virtualization approach that I'm going to be discussing subsequently. While virtual simulations have been part of automotive product development for long, but there's need to have a digital continuity across product development cycle. There's a need to remove silos between the software and the physical world. There's a need for enhanced modern interoperability between verification, validation, product development, 3D design group, early design, and so on. Because of these gaps, we see that cost gets committed quite early in the current design process, and the degree of freedom reduces quite less. Here, validation exercise with high confidence done only at very late stage. That's the final validation, as you see in the right-hand side blue triangle. To deal with this problem, companies are moving to virtual prototyping or rapid prototyping. Here, we essentially bring the last validated design and match with the new requirements and change the modules that need to meet the design criteria. So this blue blocks over here calls about the rapid prototyping. That's the aim. That's where the industry is moving. A key part over here in rapid prototyping is creation of high fidelity model. They are created either from test data, 3D physics-based simulations, or fusion of ML and AI. So I'll start with those this ML-based ML coupled with physics. That's the trend that we are seeing, and this is useful for creation of high fidelity plant models. So physics-based simulations as well as machine learning by themselves have their own limitations. We are in era where new product introduction NPI and new technology introduction NTI both are happening at a time. That means there are much more uncertainty in product development processes. Technology platforms are new, so you don't have past data. Physics data generation takes its own time and limitation. Machine learning approaches that, as we'll see in subsequent example, requires a lot more data. So what companies are focusing on modular physics guided machine learning framework. Okay, this can considerably improve the accuracy of data-driven predictive engines. The chief idea of this approach is to augment knowledge of simplified theory with underlying learning process. Okay. A very, very simple example, if I can give, is if you have current costly function or experimentation, you need to do so many experimentation. This is the actual data. So if you use very simple model to represent them, you'll not be able to kind of get a good curve fit or good model. If you use some simple analytical physics-based model and combining with some of the sample points, very few sample points, then what you can see over here, the fusion model, the purple dots that can very accurately predict the actual function. So that's all about kind of combination of physics and machine learning. Let me browse, walk you through what examples, real life examples that we see. The first one is the pollution modeling in a diesel engine. We know that it's a very, very complex phenomena and it requires very expensive tests, large number of expensive tests. So when we combine a simple physics-based model with test data, what it can help is over here, prediction of NOx and SOx requires about 300 tests typically. but through this fusion model approach, any accuracy, we can gain the same level of plant model in a 30 test. Another example is towards the 3D simulations. 3D simulations, those who are doing motor modeling, they know that if you need to create an efficiency map, it takes a lot of time. So what this fusion model approach can do over here is take a Maxwell, for example, a Maxwell 3D, very high accurate 3D model, combined with MotorCAD, you can get the same level of accuracy, exact same level of accuracy in about 1/10 of the simulations time. And similar approach is kind of being used on the battery life prediction or battery remaining use of life. This requires a large number of tests to be done in advance to be able to predict the battery life in operation as well as battery life after 5 years. Okay, so here also predictive maintenance with machine learning and physics combination, you can create very high quality, high fidelity plant models. So with that, I'll move to our second topic. That's the EV component and the system level virtual validation. So once you have a high fidelity plant models, either obtained from 3D physics or test data or combinations of both, you can use it in the validation step. This slide shows a typical validation stages for EV. We have software stack, we have hardware stack, and the validation is staged. First you do a component validation, then powertrain validation, and the full vehicle validation. Typically, hardware and software combination is done only at HIL level. But what customers or what companies are increasingly doing it, even if the original prototype is not ready, you can do a 3D physics-based simulations, which are about 90 to 95% accurate as that of the actual experimentation. And that's the advantage with EV. Probably in IC engine, we will not get that much accuracy. So companies are now focusing on high fidelity plant data obtained from simulations to do component level verification validation. This can be done in MIL for motor or battery, let's say, MIL, SIL, and hardware in loop. All three places you could use simulation driven plant model. Same can be extended over here to powertrain model. And you'll see in one of the examples that can be extended to entire vehicle virtual test as well. So this is just an example over here. You can see that motor controller. If you see the low fidelity model, if you use for control validation or control tuning, you'll miss a lot of detail. And instead of your overshoot may not be predicted right, response delay may not be predicted right. So instead of you use kind of a 3D physics based model for motor tuning, that's what I'm saying. I referred as component MIL and component SIL. Then it can considerably improve the response or the accuracy. Now these models are already there. You don't have to generate. Whoever in your organization creating the motor design, they have all the raw data. All you need to do is process it. Let's say through MATLAB, you could process it and use it in the ANSYS Twin Builder or Simulink for MIL, SIL, and HIL. And then kind of this is just showing an example of that. There are many such examples that are available in published data, which shows the efficacy of use of physics-based data for control tuning for MIL or SIL for the component level validations. So here is another example which shows the powertrain level validation, and this is a Porsche Formula E team has goal to become champion in 2021, 2022. To achieve this, the team needs to design and integrate electric drivetrain with a consideration that every drop of energy is saved. Okay, so Porsche is front loading of kind of a V-cycle verification of the software hardware to characterize the motor to get the high fidelity model from the simulations, and then the reduced order model is then used for the system level simulations. Okay, and this kind of helped Porsche team to do hundreds of variations in kind of unprecedented speed for the long distance of virtual drive. This is kind of not possible unless you integrate physics plus software, hardware, all combination together in the system model. Same can be extended not just limited to powertrain, but you can take it to now the real drive scenario where you are also incorporating vehicle dynamics, clutch, transmission losses, wheel losses, the friction losses, and aerodynamic losses, and all. Okay, all could be combined with the basic powertrain model and the control software. Okay, so let me just play a short video demonstrating how this platform can be generated and how kind of companies have started using such kind of approach to front load the validation. So I'm playing a video over here. So this use case is for virtual range estimation, but it could be applied for all many different use cases. It starts with a map creation or virtual real life scenario creation. Here a section for between Tokyo and Osaka has been taken. The map data are brought into VR driving simulator. So once you have the road scenario ready, you can generate a drivetrain system model. Here is the battery model, very high accurate battery model. It has electrical model taken from HPCC data and thermal model generated from high fidelity CFD simulations, which requires millions of computational cells. So this electrothermal model for the battery is what represented over here. If you see motor, people from the motor design are familiar with the FEA model approach to generate torque speed characterization. So precisely that torque speed characterization is implemented over here. And finally, this entire model is also connected with a data interface with vehicle dynamics model, where vehicle dynamics and wheel and clutch models are implemented. So once you have all the models in place, the next step is to kind of perform simulations. But simulations are performed based on a given drive cycle. So this is what we have taken is a standard, one of the standard drive cycles, and that data can be integrated over here. You are kind of defining speed at a given time. Okay, and this is what you are kind of final integrated simulations, which has 3D physics accuracy and the system simulation. As you can see over here, car is moving now. In a real time, you can see the speed, battery, SOC drop, battery voltage. There are many other parameters that you can track over here. This is about 4 to 5 times slower than the real time. Okay. Now I've just kind of expedited this video just to show overall the kind of end data generation. So essentially, this kind of data are going to be quite useful for getting or accessing the BMS, accessing the battery range prediction, validating your software model, validating your hardware model, validating all of software and hardware combining, working together. Okay. So let me move to next slide. And the last section is autonomous virtual validation. I'll quickly browse through this section. You saw how high fidelity models are created using ML and physics, how EV component and system verification validation is done. On the same theory, autonomous verification validation is also performed in a virtual mode. Like on autonomous radar, camera, LiDAR, ultrasonic, GPS are kind of eyes and ears of the vehicle. They generate the data. Those generate data are fused with a sensor fusion algorithm with AI/ML, and then decision control software. Finally, closed loop simulation is done for the autonomous. So we'll be focusing on combining the sensor data with the software or validation stack. Okay. So here, this slide shows about sensor modeling physics. There are various sensors you can see over here. Each of them can be modeled with physics. Like radar sensor uses electromagnetic physics. It catches the kind of it relays the electromagnetic sensors and finds the Doppler range plot. For camera, uses the optical sensor. Optical physics is solved. Physics about various material property, reflections, transmission of that. At the same time, what you could say is the medium property, whether it's a foggy or rainy atmosphere or the daytime or nighttime, pretty much everything is captured over here. Similarly, thermal camera are simulated and LiDAR are also simulated. So these sensors, once you are able to simulate in a virtual environment without even creating a physically vehicle, a CAD scenario of a road, the different daytime or nighttime, you could essentially do many scenarios in a virtual environment. All right. Over here, you are seeing kind of a different vehicle scenarios or conditions are simulated at a different time of the day. Now, this is quite powerful because unlike probably any other EV or IC in autonomous side, you'll not be able to rely on the test completely. You have to do simulations because if it is estimated that 8 billion miles of tests are needed for the machine learning algorithm to get more accuracy level. So that's why the importance of simulations even further increases. And once you are able to make the sensor simulations, companies are taking it to a much more massive scale virtual simulation testing, where thousands of simulations are done on the Azure or Azure cloud. There are some references available I can share if anyone is interested. All those thousands of simulations, the models that are generated, that can be also combined with open loop replay, HIL, as well as system tapes. Here we are collaborating with National Instrument. At the same time, finally, this sensor models can be taken, combined with the software in the driver in loop simulator. So model in loop, hardware in loop, driver in loop, all three places you are able to kind of simulate in a virtual mode the data that we have generated from the sensors combining with the softwares. So that brings to end of my talk. In summary, we discussed today about virtualization of automotive validation, use of machine learning coupled with physics that is critical for generating the required plant model for validation verification, at the same time plant model for operational maintenance for prognostic and diagnostic purpose as well. We reviewed EV component and system virtual verification validation, how 3D physics can help to front load what you would do in HIL, you could do at quite early stage. And finally, we saw the same example, same methodology repeated for EV, autonomous vehicle, how virtual validation can help running the virtual miles. So thank you for your time, and I'll be happy to take any questions if you have. Thank you.